Hey guys, what's happening? Doing well today? Welcome to another thrilling episode of doing whatever the fuck I want to do on my stream. Hi. Oh, I got the weird little, like, there it is. Got rid of that. Yeah. What an exciting way to start the day. The booties showed up right away. I can't believe it's taken 3 days to, like, get these pieces drawn for all of the Drop Frames Volume 3 songs. Yeah. Sarah was in the, yesterday we did a iHeartRadio, like interview thing for, the release of the, Hybrid Theory 20th anniversary. Yeah. This morning I got up really early. I went to, I had to get blood drawn. I had to go to the doctor and get blood taken out of my body, which I'm like not a big fan of. I actually get like nauseous really easily from having blood drawn. But like you see how when I have the background, when I have the things open, how dark I am. Like everything from here down is like darkness. And that's even with like a light on this side. Anyway, I woke up at like, I forgot like how early I was waking up before quarantine. Woke up at like 7:30 today. It felt like 4 a.m. Yeah, so I went down and did that. And got some coffee afterwards. You know, you have to fast before that, so it's good to do the blood draw in the morning. Just basic like year annual physical stuff. I'm gonna grab some water. I can already tell I'm like, 1 second. Oh, now it brightens up. I leave and the thing gets brighter. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna switch. I think I'm gonna switch this webcam that I have here with the GoPro, because the GoPro really does look so nice. Problem is the GoPro, I have it set to be wide angle. It's like fisheye. So. Yeah, I know, it's the white balance thing, but I can't get it to like, the webcam doesn't have like, I don't think it has like an auto brightness lock. Like I can't like say, okay, set it to this brightness and say, but the colors on this one look so nice, right? Looks so nice. I don't look as shiny. Look at that. It looks like I've got like powder. Like makeup on. It's also the angle. Anyway, yeah, there we are. Now it's all super bright. Now it's like, hold on. Let's see what happens if I do this. Come on, focus. Fix it. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna close the blinds. It's so blown out. Anyway, so we got a couple drawings left. I gotta find a way to make this this drawing of the wizard and the turtle not so like basic. It feels too like, it feels so like corny and silly, which is kind of awesome, but also it could be a little more, I don't know, something interesting. It needs a unicorn? Hold on a second. What if I take, can I, hold on. First of all, maybe I move their position to make room for that. I put all these, oh wait, this can drop, this can merge down to this guy. Merge that together. I don't want this to be on its own group. I want it to be up here. The group can go away. I had this little swirl and I had this background, but I don't know about that background. Let's just take this group and see if I can move it with the color. I can. So what if I take this and I do this? A wand. He needs a wand. A wand will fix it. That's the thing that's missing. Just a wand. I'm not dissing the wand. The wand is a fine idea. We can put the wand. The wand will just be floating though. Are we talking like what kind of wand? A wand bat? What kind of wand? A wand bat? I don't know. I don't know how to draw a wand bat. What's a wand bat? Is it like a Harry Potter wand? Is it like a, you know, he's got like, it looks like a unicorn horn with like a, is it like a, you know, like a little mini sword wand? Is it a... Is he holding it down? And does it have a... circle on top? That looks weird. Looks like a lollipop. Pop. Okay. All right. Put some red in here actually first. Let's handle some things that we can handle. Some things that a lightsaber. Why would he have a lightsaber though? Why? Okay, I think it's more of a Harry Potter wand kind of situation. It's like a pointy wand. Oops. It's like a pointy wand. It's a simple and pointy wand. Just like that. Just like... Let's not... There. Very simple. Like like he's conducting an orchestra. Excuse me. Oh my God. What happened? That one, please. Just a simple brown wand. Okay, so where are they in space? Let me just start with this. I want a different color. Could be darker and less saturated. Should be in like blue, in like space. You want them in outer space? Should the turtle have extra arms and tentacles? Is he an alien turtle? Alien turtle. Alien turtle. Extra arms. I can't move the screen. Come on, screen. There we go. So this one's just kind of going behind here. Behind this guy's. Insect alien turtle? With a tail. Oh. Why are a couple of you guys really bothered by the fact that we're turning this turtle into an alien? Why? Why? It's magic. He is magical. He is magical. Look at how happy he is to be an alien. He's so thrilled to be an alien. You guys have to lighten up. He's gonna have some orange. He's gonna have a green tail with a couple of orange stripes on it. And then maybe, yeah. Or should it be an orange tail with green stripes? I think it's a green tail with orange stripes. I also think this spot needs to be a little bit. Like that. All right. And then what else is going on in the background here? They're literally in space, right? Space wizard. Are they in space? I think they're in space. A unicorn. Oh, here he is again with the mouth that's too big for the actual unicorn. There he is. Or she. She. Sassy girl. She's not feeling this. She's not feeling your attitude about the turtle. She's not feeling it. She have some eyelashes? There. Oh God, there we go. All I'm trying to do is move the page. There it is. Now it's moving. Good. Let's color these guys in real quick. Green, and then I keep forgetting where I put there it is, my painter brush. Come on. Come on. Move. There we go. Good God. Come on. This is really doing that thing where it doesn't want to like open up it doesn't want to respond to touch to touch controls. I don't know what's up with that. What were the vibes of that track we were just listening to? The requests. It was God, Motown and blues and what's it called? I forgot how it started. Lenny Kravitz. I mean, it ended up being Lenny Kravitz. Gorillas, that's right. Oh, you son of a gun. Colored in by hand here. All right. Alien turtle. And then our unicorn. Oh, look at you, little one. So sassy. Will the hair be pink hair? Pink hair. Maybe a little different than this pink actually though. I kind of like more like that pink. Rainbow. Okay, it's hard to do rainbow hair. Why don't we do rainbow horn? I think rainbow horn is the. It's set up for that. I'm gonna start with yellow and go backwards. And go less red than bright red. I wanted to start with the yellow because I wanted the top of the horn to be, I didn't want to end on like cool colors because then the cool color, it'll get lost at the end of the horn, if that makes sense. Just the right amount of. There. All right. She's so over it. She's so over you guys. She's like, stop criticizing stop telling my horn how to be. She is not a Karen. How dare you? Okay, so her eye is too big though, this one. There. Come on. Come on. Look at this. Look at this. Turn. Come on. There we go. All right. So doing here? Oh, I don't have a, do I? There we go. Okay. Okay, so background. I feel like, what's going on here? Maybe some splashes of paint. Let's just give it some texture. A little bit of texture. A little of that. And then a little less. And a little less. Okay. And then what happens if I just do that? That works. Let's put some stars behind them. What if the stars are like a fill these in with white after the fact. These are almost more like fireflies, aren't they? All right. I'm down with it. That's working. Oh my God. Lots of gifts. Lots of sub gifts happening right now. What is even going on? I'm looking black. What? Black El Espanolito? Is that your El Espanolito? Oh my God. 20 tier 1 community sub gifts. Killer. Big baller. We've got a lot of subs happening today. Hold on, let me look at this. What we got? Oh no, these are from yesterday. Got DF3 Smoke subbed, Handheld High gifted, Friend Kids gifted 3, Corolla 1997 gifted 5, Bloodfire sub, Amaranth Cerise gifted 1, Vader Lover UK sub for 2 months, Corolla 1997 gave out 5 more, Amaranth Cerise gave out another one, Norway Stong gave out 1, Insa is hosting, thank you. And then Black El Espanolito gave out 20. LP Buckeye just gifted one. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Let me just do some smaller white stars, just for some variety here. All right. Good. Are we done? Oh, we got to put stuff on his on the wizard's coat. The wizard's coat needs some stuff on it. I'm thinking maybe some of this kind of turquoise color. Sparkles. I think we got a lot of sparkles in the background. How about like stars, or I could do doodles on his. I could do like Shinoda doodles. I could do all kinds of doodles. Right? Let me just see if I do a couple of them, how they look. Just to see if it's like super distracting. Let's look. Maybe if they're a little bit darker. That helps. They're not quite as bright. All right, I'm gonna do that. You can do it, iPad. There it is. Nice jacket, man. It's not a jacket, Mike. It's a robe. It's a robe, Mike. I should put that little, the little, alien icon. That little alien guy. This guy. Wow, this pen really wants to be like, have a lot of texture. There he is. Just to tie everything together, you know. to try and tie the elements together here. Do you ever see this guy? You guys ever see any art by Mr. Doodle? He's so like joyful, and he really just does like basically just does this really well. Like he does these, it's almost like Keith Haring style doodles, but it's really like, you know, family friendly. At least I think it is. I don't think I've ever seen him do anything that wasn't. Yeah, pretty, I mean, he hit me up at one point and was like, nice doodles. And I was like, dude, you're the master. I got a compliment from the master doodler. My iPad's kind of getting hot. I hope that's not a bad thing. Although, of course, it probably is a bad thing. You don't want your iPad like overheating. Yeah, not so good. What a robe. Now I don't want to make it any darker. I do think his hat should match. But should his hat have the doodles on it too, or should it just have... Well, maybe, because it could just have some simpler things on it and not be so... It's like he we don't want him to be like the wizard who wears a full matching tracksuit. He's not a mob boss, guys. He's not like... You know what I'm saying? They go together, but they're not like... How do I know he's not a mob boss? It's a good point. It's a good point. Let's do some little details on his beard here. All right. The waltz. Curious if I do... Just a few, like... excitement, lines of excitement here. All right. Will you add the robe to the merch store? I'd say unlikely. I'd say it's unlikely. How come this doesn't want to merge down? We have to merge this one down. I do. And then this group can go. That was weird. Okay. All right. So this one is waltz. Bam. All right, guys. Maybe the turtle needs a couple little like darker green, slightly darker green details. Just like a couple little texture. Forgot I'm not working underneath the black. There we go. All right. Side chain. Wow, this guy's really weird. Okay. Side chain. He's weird. Those are his like pupils, those vertical things. Hipster chipmunk? Is that what he is? Just curious out of these, do I have my, oh, look at that. It's in there. Look at that. So I could take this and replace this thing with it. Let's try again. Can I edit this? I can. There, okay. And I can also change the color. Great. So what are we doing about this hipster chipmunk? He does look like a Dr. Seuss character, doesn't he? Is it like a... Is he drinking like a, you know, pumpkin spice latte? Like, what is he doing? What's his story? What does this have to do with sidechain gang at all? I know, that's why I know it's basic. That's why Alvin, like the Alvin and Simon and Theodore. Should we make him like an actual like gang member? Should we make him... hipster gang? That's really weird, you guys. Hipster gang. I don't even know what that means. So... Alright, we're gonna make the text black. We're also gonna make it like this. And then it's gonna be on an actual like... All right. Time for a 60-second ad break. Shout out to Shark Gorilla 176 who subbed. Woodstock 234 subbed for 3 months with Prime. And we're gonna do 60 seconds. Be right back. This chain is gonna be so silly. Okay. What is this character? Not like his cheek. Let's fix this cheek. These cheeks. There we go. Should he have ears? He's no longer a chipmunk. I don't know what he is, but he's not a chipmunk anymore. It's Post Malone. When have you ever seen Post Malone wear a chain like this? How dare you? I take offense on Post Malone's behalf. However, maybe this character does need face tats. Do a couple more chains here. He's a big boy. Big boy. All right. I don't know why he's got like a ponytail. Backwards cap. You guys are so weird. That's like... There's nothing like gangster about this guy. There's nothing like... just because he's got a couple of chains and whatever is not... I'm trying to find like... I think the face tats is the move. First, let's give him some color. Let's do on the background actually. Let's see, it would be red first, and then let's put him in the sunset. Okay. I think his chains will stand out well with this color as his background of his I think he is a tracksuit guy. I think this is a tracksuit. Oh my god, come on. There we go. Give him tattoos. He's gonna have tattoos. He's gonna have tattoos on his face. Post Malone's tattoos say always tired on his face. This guy's face tats are gonna say always hungry. That'd be an amazing thing to get tattooed on your face. Always hungry. Let's see if I can do it with... It's gonna need to be kind of tight, kind of small. It's like so hard to write it. It's gonna need to be like... Shit. Alright, well, I'll just try and do it anyway. Yeah, you can see that. Oh, it's good. It's good. All right. I gotta do another layer here so I don't mess up his face tats. Oh, maybe his skin needs to be green because of the background. Like, you know, that'll look good. Pop. Maybe I can go a little more yellowish green or something. That's probably a good color. Okay, so I gotta get my soft digital painter brush out here. Lots of aliens in this drawing, in this sequence of drawings. Maybe it's just the music. What are we gonna do if the aliens do show up and they're like, and they actually do look like this? They're like, oh, the only person who got it right was that guy from that band. How did he know? How did he know what we looked like? The only person who got it right was that guy who was known for streaming on Twitch. That's how he was known. I'm guessing that the chains are going to be like their own special brand of yellow here. So I'm going to just put them on their own layer. So just planning ahead, I'm putting the yellows on their own layer. And I'm going to fill it in, and then I'm going to get the color just right. Carving out these little blue areas so I don't color over them when I fill this thing. Okay, good. Didn't lose any blues. This yellow is a good yellow. I think I might need to just make it a little more lemony, a little more greenish. We'll see. All right, so there, it's like the same kind of yellow as the background. So that if I take it and I make it a little more of that, it just pops away from the background a little more. I mean, maybe lighter. Ooh, that's very yellow. All right, I think that's good. Oh, and also if I do that, I can select it and then I can use the yellow that I just had and I can do like I guess that only works on the bottom thing. Here. All right. He needs gold teeth. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He does. Oh, yeah. He's a big boy.
do a little detail on some of his hair and stuff here.
All right. Good. There he is. All right, you guys. I love this guy now. That's a 2020 Dr. Seuss character for 2020. Well done, Murray. I mean, it's no Genesis Supernova, but... All right, let's jump to the 1,000 Jams. This one was interesting. I feel like I was starting with this as a homage to the album cover. And now let's take that and do something weird with it. Let's hear the track real quick. There it is. I mean, I always thought that this looked like a bird, but it could be other things. To me, it looked like an explosion and a bird. It's a phoenix rising from the ashes. And a mushroom. And a jellyfish. And anyway. Just looking at it, I wonder like such a tricky, like, it's a tricky I'm looking at the chat. What should we do? I'm just thinking. I'm thinking, and I'm looking for suggestions. Yeah, both. Because the thing is, like, it could be. Okay, here's like, you know, you know where the bird is. Like, it's, you know, tail, body, head, this way. You know, that's the bird, which is not that exciting. I'm like also seeing like a spaceship flying away. So like this is the back of the spaceship. This is the tail of it. These are the wings, kind of going out like this. And this is like the cockpit. That's going that. I mean, that's not a bad image. It's a little geometric. How will we do this here?
Okay. Is that's like so weird looking. Tail is wrong. Oh shit. I'm Tiffany rating. What's up? Hey guys. So you're raiding at a... I always get raids at the weirdest times. So right now we've been doing... Here's the album cover for the music we've made on Twitch. Which is out now. Shameless plug. I've been trying to make like images for each song. So I did this one for one of the songs, this one, and today this one. And I'm trying to make one based on the Linkin Park album, 1,000 Suns, which to me looks like a jet, like a plane flying away. But I'm starting to feel like it's too basic. Like it's not like weird enough or cool enough. Maybe I need to make it more of a spaceship to keep in the theme of the whole thing. You think? It's a total like ink blot test. This red is just a sketch. So maybe like the like what I really want to do is have him flying. Okay, here's what I'll do. He'll be flying into the jaws of the evil alien. The aliens are back. Yes, of course. Yes. That's like part of the theme here. So he's flying into the jaws of this guy. Okay. All right. So if that's the sketch, let me tighten this up now. Maybe the alien needs to be a little more... And turn him a little bit. That. Okay, so that'll be kind of the energy here. Put darken this whole thing. I'm gonna take this guy and change it to darken. Merge it. Okay, so now the background is gray, and I can start doing some color. So think I'm gonna do is, maybe not. All right. With the aliens' basic colors kind of coming together, should I put anything else in this image, or is it just about the alien and the fighter spaceship aircraft thing? Yeah, the alien's trying to eat the ship for sure. So if I take that out, we've got that. Weird that this particular one, the colors really didn't come in very cleanly. I'm doing a different technique than the last ones. I'm really just doing the color, almost like blocks of color first. And then the ship is gonna be, on the cover of the album, there's some light blues almost. Oh, I'm thinking of the previous album. I'm thinking of Drop Frames 2. You can actually see it on your screen, the little guy on the left side. That guy is... Okay, so fill all this in. The cockpit, I would put like a little wombat in there. I'm afraid he's not going to be able to be. You're not going to be able to see him.
Because it's the back of his. First of all, because it's the back of his head.
But second of all, because it's just going to be really small. Is that shape gonna work? I think it is. Let's make more blue. Okay. All right, I'm gonna take the red outline off and try and actually draw this thing in now. So that's the basic shape. Maybe he needs like a reddish tongue. Maybe smothered like color details too. That. And then all right, I'm just gonna go for it with the drawing the lines. Let's try. Let me actually, before I do that real quick, this just realized this spot is a mess. It's gonna mess up my lines when I start to do it. Okay. Now I'll do these lines. What a mess. Okay. Not sure why I decided to do this with the colors first and then the ink and then the outlines, but it is just what I decided to do. Just for variety. This reminds me of like an old like video game cover. Oof. There we go. Maybe there's a specific video game that this reminds me of. Is there? You guys find anything on the interwebs? It's not Space Invaders. Closest thing I have in mind is Gradius. If you can look that one up. I don't know if I know that one has like a ship headed towards another ship. It's in my head it looks a lot like a Star Destroyer from Star Wars. But I don't know exactly if that's right or whatever. All right, so the general shapes are about right. Let's get this thing make this guy a little more blue. So let's see, what am I looking for here? Overlay. There it goes. There, that's better. And then just do my alien outline and then start to, oops. taking this background off for a second. Come on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to run an ad. See you in 1 minute. All right. This guy is. I'm gonna look up that Gradius cover actually, because it's starting to bother me. I'm like, is this? It's not that cover, but maybe I can actually learn. Something about a good, like, what makes that cover cool. By checking it out. So, okay, so I'm gonna show you the screen here to show you what I mean. So this is the one that I was thinking of. Okay, so that ship is flying into the other ship. I like all the I like all the little details on the ship. That's actually dope. And the ship's wings are a cool shape. My ship's wings suck. The shape of the ship is actually really great. I'm gonna have to address my ship's wings. And those lines of like, hey, I'm a ship and I'm moving fast. That's good. Those are good. Okay, so I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna start with, oh man. Okay. Let's start with the ship shape.
You want me to say ship shape 5 times fast? Why?
Let's fix this a little bit. Oops. So, okay. So maybe that shape should kind of dip down at that point to like this. And then up. Okay, that is helping. And then this guy, let's put like a detail that goes this way. From like there to the top of that, and this one to the top of this. Oh, look, an exterminator. There's a guy behind me. And then erase these, I think. And then I'm going to take some of this off of the back there. Do you guys remember that like Transformer kind of character I drew a few weeks ago or months ago at this point that I took way too long on? That's where what we get into whenever I start drawing like mechanical looking things. I don't know why I just like have to get way deep into like the like engineering, not engineering, but the like shapes, all the different weird little shapes. And like, I don't know why that is the case. This line sucks. If I don't actually draw enough like perspective stuff to do this part of this really, really well, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oof. Yeah, that's just a problem. better. Little better. I think oops. All right, let's keep it a little simple and we'll leave it at this. Now I just have to adjust these colors. So the lesson I learned here is don't do your coloring before you do your. I shouldn't be doing coloring before I do outlines. That's where I went wrong. Okay. I need, what do I need? I need this. I might need this to actually get inverted. Can I just invert it? Do I do that with like this? Oh, yikes. All right. But it needs, let's do some of those spray paint bits. There. We gotta get more yellow. And then more white. That's better. Okay. So now let's do some more of that, like here. Okay, so I've selected the green guy. Actually, since the background is the thing that has the shiny bits, maybe he needs to be mostly dark with like shininess on the outside. Okay. And then let's just add some details and call it a day on this thing. A few spots. Maybe like a little lip here. A few little creases in his tentacles. Okay, let's do the, there were like more lines, more like these guys. Actually, I'll do that over top of everything. So, like that. That second one is not that good. Hold on. Okay, what's the right? Kind of like that, I think. There. Should we do a couple red ones? I feel like there's no red on this piece. Uh-oh. There's a little bit of red, but... there. And last but not least, a little bit of this. Does this need to be like lighter colored? It does need like a shine on it though. These are brighter than that. Okay. All right. Finally. That's a hard one. I wonder if, I mean, I could have done, well, actually, let me try one very, very quick thing here. Because before I completely flatten the background. Yeah. So if I take this guy and merge that, merge. Like, I could just grab just the alien. And I could do basically if I grab this blue color to push him back into the background a little more. I could just do like a light like this. Ooh, kind of a mess, but we'll find out in a second if it works. I think it's over multiply. Yeah. All right, I can't do it. Never mind. The point is that the ship is very... The ship meeting up with him, those shapes are not the most... Don't have the most definition, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's just for the gram, man. Not a big deal. All right, last one. A fun one. The sun chilling behind the cloud. He is just chilling so hard. It looks good as is. Does it though? Just right in the middle. Right there. I'm just curious about what I could do with the colors here. Just so simple. So he's chilling so hard. Why don't we just leave it like this? And I'll do some questions today. How about that? The sun doesn't have he's got a shine on the top of his head like an egg. Like he's not like emanating. He's turned off his light. All right. Done. Done. All right. I can't believe that's the 1,000 Jams one. I mean, right there, right? Right there. That's the one. Actually, that's the one. Cool. Thanks, guys. Nice stretch. We need a stretch right now. The chubby cow. Let's see something here. I'm gonna switch to this cam, and I'm gonna look at my questions up here. How's that sound? Let's look at them. What do we have? The big brain questions. Wow, we have lots of questions. Did you know that? Did you know that lots of people submitted questions? So many questions you have. Let me see if I can answer some of them. Mindrew asks, how was... Oh, this was the one from the other day. Life is strange. Okay, so let's look at some other ones. Katoda says, when you were working on the song for Transformers 2, you made other demos. Megatron was New Divide, but I made Optimus, Bumblebee, and Starscream as well. What happened in the other demos? Well, as usual, they were just like sketches of music, so I'm sure they exist somewhere in a hard drive. They're not, I mean, they weren't better than New Divide. I think at least 2 of them sucked. Guys, there were always more demos for everything. And you guys have it's easy to imagine what if one of the other ones was amazing? Probably not. Probably not amazing.
Nicole Styles says, love these streams. You in the chat might make my evening so much better. Keep rocking this channel and have an amazing drop frames through your release. Thank you, Nicole. Imagine Lily says, hey Mike, I wanted to say thank you so much for the always fun streams. They've been helpful. I lost the question. They've been helpful lately. My question is, what's the most rewarding part about streaming? Lillian. Lily, I think the most rewarding part is changing up my camera angles. No. I like hanging out. I like hanging out with you guys. We don't have as much social interaction and community in quarantine, so yeah, the streams are a good part of that. Darren TR says, if you had to bring one animal to a concert with you, which animal would you bring and why did you choose that animal? P.S. I hope it's not a sloth. I don't know what I would bring. You can't bring an otter to a concert, guys. Okay, we're gonna switch cameras. Why did you choose that animal? An animal. You can't bring an animal to a concert. What animal could you bring that would be good for a concert? A horse. I'd bring a horse. Because then you could see, you'd be right over top of everybody else. You could see the best. You wouldn't have to like walk around. You just ride your horse. Why is my finger itchy? Let's see, what other questions we have? Fractured Eclipse wants to know what inspired the sound of the album Living Things. Also, thanks to the streams, they keep me sane. P.S. Alexa says hi. Hi, guys. Wow. Living Things? I mean, not one thing. There wasn't a single inspiration for the sound. A lot was happening in electronic music. So there were a lot of different kind of different electronic things that we were listening to. I don't remember what exactly I was listening to that made me like go, oh, that's dope. I know that it was post Justice, Crystal Castles, that there were also like, I think there were also a lot of bands mashing up live and electronic stuff, like Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah, and MGMT was out there, still rocking. But yeah, I think, I mean, you know, like Skrillex had really popped off, and it was like there were elements of like all of that stuff that had like just kind of been in the ether. I thought it was funny because Joe was a proponent of having like somebody like Skrillex like mix the album, And we played around with that a little bit. We didn't actually have somebody, you know, do like, we didn't like ask him to like mix it or whatever. I don't even know if he would have at that point. I think he was trying to get away from rock and do like more DJ centric EDM stuff, but it didn't, we played around with some of that approach and it didn't sound good. There's all these like incremental steps between the way we would normally mix and the way those guys would mix, and so we kind of ended up finding a space in the middle. Hey Mike, thank you. Hey Mike, thank you for the streams. They've really helped me get through my work days. My question is, what's the inspiration behind Fort Miners? Where'd you go? That's Rebel Danny with the question. I think it was Where'd You Go was just an idea I had for a song because I had been on the road so much, and it wasn't specifically about me or Anna. It was just more generalized. Obviously, because it's like the end of it is like the person at home is like, F you, I'm out of here at the end of the song. So that obviously didn't happen. Hey Mike, Nabila says, Nabst29, Nabila says, hey Mike, I just started my 3rd year of university. Do you have any tips for staying focused or reducing stress? Love the streams. I don't know. I immediately go to like social media, like taking less time on social media, taking breaks from that. For me, like social media is just very draining. And certain ones are worse. Certain platforms are worse than others. Some people really believe in doing a meditation every day, doing a workout every day. Those, there have been times when those things like really worked well for me. Did I do this one? Hold on 1 second. Checking something. Nighthawk Nina, you tried to redeem a GIF, but the link doesn't work. I'm gonna give that back. LWOS Justin P says, hey Mike, if your younger self, like 5 or 10 years old, suddenly started inhabiting your current body, what would your younger self do? What would a 5 to 10 year old Mike do? I was big into, like, I noticed that young kids that age right now, they spend a lot of time on screens. And it reminds me that when I was that age, we spent a lot of time playing, like with toys and like physically playing. We would like, it's like you take characters and they would role, and you would like role play as those characters, and they would have conflicts, and they would, be in a battle or have a birthday, or I don't know what it was. I used to build a lot. I used to build a lot of stuff with different toys, not like Legos and stuff like that. But we also, like, I would build these elaborate like tassels and bases and things in my room with like, I'd take string and I'd run it from one thing to the other and like have them, you know, it would be like, there'd be like a thing I built on the ground, the thing I built on a cabinet, and then I'd like attach people to it and they'd slide down and attack the lower base and all this stuff. There's a lot of like hands-on making stuff though, building stuff, and then tearing it down and doing it again. Yeah, so, I mean, that's this type of stuff that I was so, you know, that was like the majority of my playtime as a little kid. Julia Ivanova 69 says, "Hey Mike, congratulations on Drop Frames 3. It's amazing. I propose to arrange a vote on tracks that will include Drop Frames 4. Where do you get the titles from?" Thank you. That's a proposal and a question. The titles thing is very intuitive. I don't know. I feel like I've gotten better at making titles, giving things names as I've gotten older. I used to be terrible at it. But it's also hard to name anything with like a band with 6 guys. So that's way harder than, you know, than 5 or 4 or 1, you know? I'm Lucy CZ says, "Hey Mike, I miss live shows so bad. I love your live mashup of Waiting for the End. Where'd you go? My fave. Their whole Rising Tide is the bomb. Hope to see Believe Me and Red to Black live someday. Stay safe. Lucy." Thank you. Someday. Maybe someday. Janine Dog says, "Hey Mike, how long do you spend fixing up the Twitch jams to make them album ready? Are there some songs that don't require any changes and are perfect by the end of a jam session?" I've gotten better at getting them like ready at the end of the session. I haven't on these tracks, like some of them took a while, like that 1,000 Jams. I really did have to like clean it up a lot to make it presentable, but some of them I barely touched at all. So it just depends. Like some of them, like they have like a good like shape, even if it's like not even if it's not as I would look at it and go like, I don't think any of these I would look at them and go like, that's an amazing, like you know, if I were to get detail oriented about these mixes, I'd probably change a bunch of things. But because of the volume and the like getting them out quickly to you guys, I'm not like being precious about them. They're a good like snapshot of what's, you know, happening on the channel. Steffi Lou says, "Thank you. Hey, Mikey, thank you for everything you do. We're lucky to have you. A blessing in this world. Happy release day. Love you." Thank you. Very nice. Kickshaw24, Kyle, says, "Hey, Mike, do you have any piano practice exercises to share or exercises for finding good chord progressions?" Honestly, I find my chord progressions as usually as a function of the root note in the scale that I'm playing in. So if I have an idea for a chord progression and I'm not near an instrument, I will, if I write it down, rather than writing like G major, A minor, C major, I'll put it in a relative C scale, which means the simplest scale. And I might even write like, in terms of the bass line, I might just write like 11114444, or actually 111166664444455555. That would be it'd be C, A, F, G. So it's 1 is the first note of the scale, 6 is the 6th note, right? So then it turns it into the simplest possible thing. And the number of times I write that is a quarter note. Does that make sense? I'll just write it, basically I'll write it in C. And then whatever ends up being the progression, I'll just transpose it to wherever it ought to fit. Can I show you what I mean? So this is A, F, this in my head is A, F, A, D, C. A, D, C, E is that last chord. Even though it might not be that, I can tell that the first note the first note is minor, so that puts it in on A. The next one up is the 4th, from 4 notes away from that. Then it's 3 notes away from that. Then it's 5 notes away from that. So you anchor it to whatever. If it's a major, it starts on C. If it's a minor, it starts on A. And that's how I think of it. And then if it goes to a different, then if you transpose it, you transpose it. But whatever you can do to like almost like normalize or generalize your chord structures, then I feel like then you'll have it'll be easier to pick up on the progressions. Just looking at some other questions here. King JD D843 says, "Hey Mike, I'm curious to know what it was like working with Connor Youngblood on One More Light. I don't think he's a credited contributor, but did anything you guys experimented with make the album? Thanks." No, we don't I mean, generally he didn't. So first of all, no, Connor didn't participate on the album. However, I think he's great. I think he's such a talented guy. And if you haven't checked out Connor's music, please do. It's CONNER, Youngblood. And we played around with one track. I mean, well, I think we actually played around with more than one idea, but they weren't things that the band, they were more esoteric and more like, a little more like, for lack of a better word, artistic statements than they were something that could fit on One More Light, which was a little more of a pop-leaning album. So they weren't as exciting or catchy as what the guys were looking for. But I thought they were awesome. I thought they were fun. He's great. He's awesome. Carmadal says, "Hey Mike, what would you spend your 9,000 Shinoda bucks on in your own store and why? Thanks for the mention, the Green Room podcast, my daily tweets." Oh, she's talking about the Australia thing. Yeah, I'd said something about like, she's like, day number or whatever of like trying to get a Australian tour. I mean, what would I buy in my own store? A GIF. I'd buy a GIF. I'd buy so many GIFs. I'd buy all the best GIFs. Let's see. This is a weird, this question has, so I get thrown when people ask a question that's based on assumptions or their own understanding of something. So like, it's like the equivalent of saying like, so since you don't like pickles, do you eat hamburgers? And I'm like, what, since I what? Like, I have no idea where this came from. Joseph Karusik. You didn't collaborate or interact with 30 Seconds to Mars like you did with other bands. They didn't fit the Carnivores theme, but played only new and pop songs. How was having them on tour? So everything up until the end part, I don't understand. So I'm just going to answer the end, which is they were fine. They were good. I didn't see them that much. Jared doesn't like hang out at the venue. And they played really, performance wise, they did great shows. They are very awesome. They're awesome, musicians, and the crowd loved them. So it was solid. I think the crowd really enjoyed those shows. The only negative I heard that I was like, I could see that is like he was really starting to get into his like Jesus mode where he was like, in robes with a beard and like looked like a cult leader. And so that was, I thought like I heard a lot of people were like, whoa, what's up with that? I don't know. But he, they're a band, we had shows with like Die Antwoord and like, Marilyn Manson, I'm not freaked out by people expressing themselves in a very, exaggerated or like even shocking kind of way. I thought our shows with Die Antwoord were amazing. I thought they were great, even though like they freaked our fans out. I think they're great. Andrea, AL3RYDE, says, hey, Mike, Phoenix was kind enough to invite you on his show twice. Do you think you could return the favor and invite him on Twitch? We miss him so much. I'm down to have Dave on the show. I don't actually know if he's like, I saw him for the that interview we did yesterday, but I haven't asked him if that's something he would want to do. What's kind of nice, I will say this, it's kind of nice saving those things for press, like for specific like special events, as opposed to like just doing it randomly on my stream. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it makes those moments more band centric and band, like it makes it more of a fun thing to go check out. Rosario LP says, first, congrats on Drop Frames 3. I work at Lyft, and we have a hybrid theory plaque in our secret room. I asked John Z about it, and he told me it was a gift from you. My team was super excited. We hope you visit again. Take care. We did these special. We have Lincoln Park has like an investment portfolio, basically like just a handful of great startups that we invested in. And by the way, it wasn't like in the context of, you know, investments. We could talk another day about like that whole philosophy and approach, but we certainly didn't make more money doing investments with startups than Lincoln Park, than doing Lincoln Park stuff. Those things were, it was partially on just like building community with the tech community, and we wanted to like, of course we would want to win, like we would want to like make money on an investment, but it was part of it was like getting, you know, just having a presence in that environment and understanding it more. In a couple cases, like those, you know, we had a couple of really good, good bets. So as part of that, we made these little, like, we made some little plaques for all of the companies that we invested in. Team Shinoda says, can you tell us about making roads untraveled and the use of the triangle sound? Thanks to the streams, you always make my day. This is the last question. What is the triangle sound in roads untraveled? What's the triangle sound? The intro? Oh, it's not a triangle. It's like a chime thing. Yeah, it's like a bell sound. I don't know. It's just like one of those cool patches that I found. I don't remember exactly what kind of sound it is, in fact. Oh. The waltz. All right, you guys. Great questions. Fun day today. Thank you for joining. And I think, yeah, I get to pick the raid today. What can we do today? Let's look. Let's see. Just looking at a couple different channels here to see what we could do. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but we're about to find out. Enjoy the raid. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Bowl. Let's do the bowl. Oh, let's see what's in the bowl. Let's shuffle them around a bit. And... ooh! Oh boy. Am I missing? I feel like I'm missing a piece to this one. Is this supposed to have another thing on it? It's not. Wait, it is. What is this one? Mash these 4 up. Let's take a look. Can't mash those up. What am I gonna mash this up with?
Well, okay, we're gonna revisit Queen's I Wanna Break Free because we didn't really get it. And we're gonna mash that up with Hamilton / contemporary Broadway musical. That sounds like it'll be nice. That'll be a good combo. So Queen, Hamilton, Broadway musical tomorrow. Fun. All right. We are rating Harry Bao Bao. I don't know what Harry Bao Bao is doing. He's making music. I don't know this person, but I saw his channel and then something I saw looked fun to watch. So enjoy that. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our foray into the world of Broadway. I don't even know what. I don't know what it's gonna be. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.